Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel and a happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Hopefully you are being celebrated today and you are being honored as you celebrate this Mother's Day. So I'm going to show you here a couple fun cards that we're going to make, and I'm using some stencils, I'm using some paste, and just adding a couple extra things, some fun tips to add to your stenciling and your pastes and whatnot. So we're going to get into it. It's going to be fun. Probably stuff you've seen before, but I had a good time just having a little bit of different fun with my stenciling. So the first thing I'm going to do, you saw me put down some masking paper. That's rock, paper, scissors removable sticker paper, and I use it for everything, but I doubled it up on itself to hold down my piece of cardstock for my stencil. So it doesn't rip the paper at all. It's great. I love that stuff for many reasons. And then I'm going to put over my card panel this stencil. This stencil, unfortunately, I have no idea where I got it. If any of you have seen this, by all means, put it in the comments, but it has an adhesive on the back, and it's like a removable adhesive, so it doesn't tear your paper either. More stencils need to be made like this because I didn't have to tape anything down. I didn't have to spray it with sticky stuff. It was great, but I'm sure there's a line out there that makes stencils like this, and I'm going to be on the hunt for them. Trust that. Okay, so I'm going to take some Gina K Glitz Glitter Gel, and I'm going to add some Catherine Pooler Limoncello ink to the side of my mat here. And I'm working on a glass mat. This is the Mini Travel or the Travel Tim Holtz glass media mat. And I'm going to change the color of that Glitz Glitter Gel. This is the white, and I think it's so easy to change colors, and it's really, really great that you can get some different looks from one bottle. So it's probably why it's always sold out. Because it's just so great. Okay, so this is kind of the first fun tip. Don't cover your entire panel with your stencil. Leave a little bit of interest by maybe leaving some white space on your card, just to add a little bit of something different. All right, moving on to the second card. Now I'm going to make all these cards at the end of the video. You're going to see them finished. But the second card, it's been like 2 videos since I've done this technique, so I had to bring it back. It's one of my favorites. I just picked out some pink cardstock from my stash, some Catherine Pooler purple Queen's Day ink, I believe it's called, and some black soot. And I'm going to get this beautiful shadow look. I love this look. I don't know why. It feels like almost like an optical illusion, like it's glowing in the center. And it looks as if I put a lot of effort into it, and I did not. So that's probably why I like it. It's the eye trickery. Now I'm going to again place that panel down with the masking tape or masking paper, and I'm going to tape this stencil down. This one is from memory. I don't even know. I don't know. I have a bunch of stencils in my stash, and I'm sure if you've been card making as long as me, you do too. So if you want to try these, grab out what you got. That's what we're talking about today. So I did have a fail on this card, and I'm going to show you in a second, but I pulled out some Bo Bunny glitter embossing paste, and I covered it because I wanted this to kind of be a monochromatic type of theme. So I put the pink glitter paste on top of the pink cardstock. So this is the look we get. But that big butterfly right there has just a splotch because I think it went under the stencil. Not happy about that. Thought I would have to throw it away, but then literally took me like 2 seconds to come to reality and say, are you crazy? You're not throwing this away. We will figure out a way to cover that. I took, this is the next tip for adding something extra. I took some glitter. I don't hardly ever use glitter, so I thought maybe use some that I have. And I am going to cover the bottom of my, they're not umbrellas. They're butterflies. To cover my butterflies. And I noticed that it was falling off, of course, so I grabbed out my completely unnecessary little We Are Memory Keepers glitter vacuum. Proof I have too many things for no good reason, but it's so cute and it's fun and it picks up my glitter. So I used that, and then we're going to let that dry. Now we're going to come back to that because obviously the glitter is going to keep flaking off, so we find a fix for that as well. Moving on to the next card here, this next background, I pulled out this beautiful butterfly stamp set, and I am going to take 3 different colors of Catherine Pooler ink. They're more of in a minty or aqua shade. I have all the Catherine Puller inks, so I have a variety to choose from to make this ombre look. And I don't know, I was just feeling the blue-green look, and I'm so glad I did, because when you reveal it, it's just wow. I love it. So I was really, really excited about this, but I wanted to figure out something extra I can do with this one as well. What I'm going to do is heat set it, because I'm going to be using some embossing embossing powder. I take my embossing pen. Now this is like the Versamark ink, but in a pen form, and it's sticky ink. I'm going to cover the parts that I want to cover with embossing powder. And I'm going to do the body of this butterfly first, and I'm just going to cover it in some sparkly silver embossing powder. And that will leave me with this beautiful highlight of something other than just an ombre butterfly. But I didn't stop there. Look how shiny that is. It's so fun. I didn't stop there. I went through and I used my embossing pen again on certain parts of the butterfly wings, and you're going to see that in a second. And then I used some sparkly clear embossing powder instead of the silver. And then I'm going to heat set that as well. So you're going to have this, just pops of the butterfly, pieces of the butterfly are going to come out and pop out because of this embossing addition. So that was a lot of fun. All right, let's move on to our sentiments. We're making Mother's Day cards today. This is from Whimsy Stamps. I've had this a very long time. It's one of those staple, obviously you can pull it out more than once a year, but this one's mostly Mother's Day, and a wooden block that I had in my stash. So I'm going to do the classic white embossing powder on black cardstock look, and I am going to leave my panel, my card panel in there, and I am going to stamp it directly inside my Misty. The Misty is great for free stamping as well, like this, because of the padding. You don't necessarily need that because the wooden block has padding, but it's another bit of padding that could help you get a really crisp image. I don't know where I got that wooden block, probably from a local craft store, but it's a very classic look of a happy Mother's Day sentiment. I'm going to heat set these. Now you'll notice a lot of powder on there. That's because I used my anti-static powder bag, but you can always wipe that away and get it nice and clean. All right, so I have them heat set now. I've cut them out. I've hand cut them all, bubble cutting them to make it so that they stand out around the sentiment. Very forgiving technique. Love it. It's one of my favorites. So let's start putting our cards together. We're going to start with this one right here. I'm going to cut this down, this panel, using the largest of the small set in the Lawn Fawn rectangle stitch die. I've had this set for so many years, and I haven't had a reason to buy another set. So I know lots and lots of brands make them, but I have it and I love it, and it keeps on going. So, all right, I'm going to start putting this together. I'm using Barely Art glue. Barely Art glue is a fantastic glue when it comes to putting stuff on top of this kind of surface, like the glitter surface that I used with the leaves. The leaves are going to go flat. I did put something heavy on them, but then I'm going to pop up these 3 flowers right here. These flowers are from an Altenew set. I was coloring them in my leisure, and I definitely wanted to make use of them. Sometimes I shy away from doing that because I didn't show the coloring on film, but then they just sit in my stash and they don't ever get used. So hopefully you forgive me on that. I did not show the coloring in here, but the focus for today's video anyway is more on stenciling techniques. So I'm going to cover these flowers with some sparkle pen from scrapbook.com. I did color them in the Arteza Real Brush pens, which will be reactivated with that sparkle pen, so be sure not to cross-contaminate too much of your color. Adding some stickles here to the center of my flowers, that's like my favorite thing to do lately. And it's the little touches on this final card that really bring this together. It's the stickles, the sparkle, and the sequins. And you start to really see just a regular card go into a wow card, in my opinion, because of all the sparkle and the fun. So that is the first card here. I'm going to show you some close-ups of this card as well. Something about that white embossing sentiment on the black cardstock. It is classic, and it goes with pretty much everything. So I was happy to use that again. All right, this next one is going to be the butterfly paste one with the shadow look. I'm putting some fun foam on the back because I want to flatten out. It warped quite a bit. I was using thinner cardstock. And I can notice that once I put this on my card panel as well, because I really wanted to kind of get it locked down on something before I did what I was about to do, because I was going to warp it up big time if I didn't do this first. Look at all this glitter coming off. Just flaking right off. It was like laughing at me. Like, yeah, nice try, Mary. That's not going to work. Go in with my little vacuum cleaner again. I showed you again because it's funny. It's like, it's the greatest thing, but it's like completely unnecessary. Okay, so I moved that out of the way. Now, what I'm going to do here is I am going to cover every single butterfly with Glossy Accents. I know. But what else am I doing? I mean, honestly, there's nothing else going on. This is what we're doing on Saturday, is we're covering... Now, I did shut off the video because I was afraid that I would run out of space on my memory card because this took so long. Probably took... It didn't take that long. It probably took, I don't know, 5 minutes, maybe? Anyway, so, but 5 minutes of squeezing out a bottle, it definitely gives you a grip workout. All right, so it's dried now. I've come back hours later through the power of video, and I'm going to put down my Happy Mother's Day sentiment. That's going to cover up the glop that I made a mistake under the stencil. And we're going to add some more sequins to this card, and look at that shine. This is one of my favorites for sure. I love that card. Okay, so some close-ups here. You're going to see a lot of that shine in the close-ups. It just looks like its own epoxy embellishment on top of the card. Yes, it took 5 minutes. Yes, I got a little bit of a hand cramp, but to me it was worth it. Now on to our last card. This one I struggled with reeling myself in and not doing too much. I really think that the ombre look and the addition of the sparkle embossing powder speaks for itself. So I had a little talk with myself and we calmed it down because I did have sequins on top of this one. But I decided to take them off and just go with a simple sentiment. And so my simple sentiment is Happy Mother's Day, and this is the card. Of course, you can add some Nouveau drops and sequins and maybe even some twine, whatever. But this is how I chose to end it for this card. And I was happy with it. I mean, it still kind of hurts me in the heart. Because I had to stop myself. But what do you think? Do you think it needs something else? Let me know. I'm curious. So there's some close-ups of that card, and I'm going to show you the final 3 and then some close-ups of these cards. And so now I'm going to take an opportunity to say Happy Mother's Day to everyone again. Those of you that I define mother not just in that you parent a child. The nurturing nature of some people in my eyes, qualifies them as mothers. My sister, who is 14 years older than me, pretty much raised me, and she is my best friend, but she's also been a mother figure my whole life. And she's a school teacher, and she doesn't have children she parents at home, but she is a mother in my eyes, and I love her, and I dedicate my cards today to her and my mother. So, celebrate the women in your life. Make sure that we're doing nice things for one another, and make sure you're being extra nice to yourself if you're celebrating this day as well. That's it for me. I'll list everything I used in the video description below. I'll put some more videos on the screen if you want to take a look at those. Hit subscribe if you want to see more from me, and follow me on other social media platforms. Until next time, I hope you all have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.